And our first guest tonight is the Managing Director of Beacon, Nigel Bridges. Welcome to the show, Nigel.
Thank you. Good evening.
We have a fun fact about you. Apparently you started Beacon because you felt that the digital industry was too opaque. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. My founders, we were working in the digital industry and we were doing digital campaigns, and there was a lack of connection between the campaign we were doing and the real results in the real world. So a lot of it was guesswork, a lot of the data didn't seem to marry up, and so we thought we have to be able to drive some transparency in this, so that here's a campaign, here are the channels, tell me what's working and what isn't. And that's where the idea came from.
Great. Well, are you ready to pitch?
Certainly am.
Okay, you've got 8 minutes.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time. Let me tell you a little bit about Beacon. The front screen there, digital campaign intelligence for smart marketeers. In essence, that's exactly what we're doing. We have developed a platform to try to drive intelligence and insights into the digital business for marketeers, marketing managers and marketing directors. The best way to illustrate that actually is through this slide here. This is a friend of mine, and he runs a whole set of digital campaigns across many different channels. And his issue is the following. He's working in a very complex digital landscape. It is huge, but it is complex. And there's a degree of a lack of clarity and transparency in that paradigm. In essence, he simply doesn't know what works and what doesn't. He just wants a simple answer. Tell me what's working, tell me what doesn't work, so I can do more of what works and less of what doesn't. And so he just finds it's fog. And the key here is the ability to easily and accurately attribute results back to effort. So that's where Beacon comes in. We've tried to solve this platform by delivering one simple platform, solve the problem by delivering one simple platform that allows you to attribute effort to results across multi-channels across the digital landscape. This video should just illustrate where we're coming from. Nope, we'll move on from the video. Let me tell you a little bit about it then. In the digital world, what we've learnt over the past few years is that there is a virtuous circle. You need to be able to learn what channels work for your content to your certain audience across which campaigns. Once you've learnt those channels, you then go into a process of improvement, and as you continually improve those campaigns, you can then transform your digital campaigns in the round. One of the key issues also that we learnt was that businesses lost $17 billion globally in 2017 alone due to ad fraud and due to bot clicks. So somehow you need to be able to take those out of the equation as well. So what Beacon does is it highlights wasted marketing budget and gives greater control and therefore better digital marketing returns. Where are we in our journey? Very straightforwardly, we've now got a commercially available solution. It enables you to easily generate your campaigns, then analyze your traffic by channel, by link, by visit, by campaign, so that you can then see exactly what the spend is, what the results are, take out all the bot clicks, for example, analyze them against budgets, and then you've got a full journey analysis and full engagement analysis, so that you can genuinely see what channels produce what results for what campaigns, so you can compare them and continually improve your digital marketing. So where are we? Well, we've got a global business model. It is a huge market. In fact, the tools market in this sector is about a $5 billion market. It's growing at over 20% compound, so it's a very large market, as you can see. We sell through a monthly software as a service license. We've also got a huge headroom for professional services around that. We've got a proven try to buy approach. And one of the key elements to Beacon is that it fits within your marketing stack. So most organisations will have invested a lot of money in e-commerce systems, in CRM systems, in content management systems, say in posting systems. We fit within that stack and add value to them all, as well as delivering value on its own. There's also a very, very large partnership and reseller potential and a white label potential, and we're talking to a number of organisations about white label opportunities as well. So that's the business model. And we're focused at over 100,000 agencies in the UK alone to use Beacon as their tool, plus of course SMEs, brand owners, charities and other people that use digital to reach an audience. Of course, once we've got traction in the UK, there's a full global market that we can then address. The team is an experienced team. Myself, I've been running technology companies for over 20 years. Mike, there as you can see, is an experienced strategist and alliance manager. Stuart, very experienced CTO in this sector, and John, an experienced CFO. So we've got a very strong team, and then we've got a growing team both of technologists and of sales and marketing people. So that's all beginning to form very nicely. And we've taken the product out to customers. We now have a growing customer base, and those customers say some very nice things about us, which is always very positive. So you can see there, one there says Beacon saves us £3,000 a month. Another one there, Beacon has reduced my drop-offs by 60%, which is absolutely huge. So the customers that we have are now beginning to say great things, and equally they're demonstrating true return on their marketing investment through using Beacon. In terms of the financials, last year was very much a year of finishing off the commercial product and beginning to go to market. So you can see there the graph on the left, the revenue just beginning to grow. So by the time we got into Q4 last year, they were beginning to motor. I have to say now that we're into 2019, those revenues are still growing and going north. And customer numbers equally are beginning to track. So we're on a journey. And our plan for 2019 is now to do sales growth. We have a product, we have customers, they pay us money, customer numbers are growing. 2019 is all about growth into the UK and then globally. So where are we in terms of our funding journey? We started the company.
Thank you, Nigel. Good pitch. Matthew, have you got any questions?
Yeah, Nigel, so you talk about your customers as being anybody that uses digital to market to an audience. So I can see how that huge $5 billion number comes about. But with that becomes the challenge for you about how do you prioritise who you are targeting as your customer base. What kind of segmentation have you done, and how do you prioritise how you get the best bang for your marketing buck?
Great question. I think when we look at the world, we can narrow that down to we're focused at companies or organisations whose business model is absolutely driven by driving the right people to their website for the right reasons. So to buy something, to download something, to engage with some content. So that narrows it a little bit. And then we recognise that the sort of organisations that really benefit from Beacon are organisations that spend a significant amount of budget on digital outreach. So perhaps £5,000 a month, 10,000, 15, 20 upwards, so that the person who's responsible for that budget knows they're spending real money, but still has that fog in the back of their head of, I'm not quite sure I know I'm getting the best return for that spend. I'm spending a lot of money on Google, spending money on Facebook, spending money on email. Have I got the right mix for that, for those channels, for that campaign? And so that's where we engage. So if you begin to narrow it down, actually it narrows it down to some very distinct verticals.
So it's important for their competitive advantage, but they're maybe not so sophisticated as larger organisations that have all these tools at their disposal.
I think that's partly right. The easier adoption are for those medium-sized organisations. So for digital agencies who want to retain their clients, who want to give added value to their clients because they can genuinely say, here's what your budget has delivered for you in terms of real results. And for end user organisations who are saying, look, I know we're spending money on digital, I'm just not quite sure where it's going, where the returns are. I think interestingly about the larger organisations, you say, they will have invested a lot of money in terms of different technologies in the stack. We've deliberately designed Beacon to fit within that stack and using APIs to be able to integrate into those different products. So it should add value to all of those products within the stack as well. So if you've invested a lot of money in a CRM, in content management system, in an e-commerce system and so on, putting Beacon in the middle of that should actually increase the value from those systems.
And Nigel, what makes Beacon different from the other platforms out there?
There are a lot of analytics platforms. They're very data rich, they're very good, but they tend to require quite a lot of effort to understand the data and interpret that data into real insights. And what we've done with Beacon is we've started the top down and said, let's try to work out for you what those insights should be. Can we give you actionable insights for your campaigns so you can just improve your campaigns day by day by day and see the results in a very straightforward manner? And I think that's the difference. So it's insights platform that sits above the analytics that you may or may not be using anyway.
And why is there a big problem around digital and analytics at the moment?
I think, as I say, analytics there are a lot of analytics tools and they're very, very good and very data rich. Some of the tools come from certain platforms, so Google Analytics and so on and so forth. What we would say with Beacon is we're totally independent. We're looking at your website results and your digital campaign results from an absolutely independent viewpoint so that we can replay to you exactly what is happening and therefore ideas and insights about what to change. So here's what Google does, here's what Facebook is doing, here's how the email is working, here's how the SMS outreach is working. Do a bit more of this, a little less of that, you should get better results. I paraphrase.
And for a customer of yours, is this going to be incremental spend initially? I get that it's going to deliver better results in the end, but is this going to be incremental spend, or are you going to take spend away from a competitor product? Yeah,
good question. So for the initial couple of months, let's say, or the initial quarter, the initial 4 or 5 months, it is additional spend. But actually what we've seen with our customer base is those savings kick in really quite quickly. So it becomes a true return on investment. So either you get better results for the same spend, or you're getting the same results but for less spend. And we're beginning to see that come through now. So that obviously is very pleasing from our point of view. So it becomes a true return on investment sale.
Thank you, Nigel. Very interesting. That's all we've got time for today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
If you'd like to find out more about Beacon, you can do so at Stakeholders' website.